to earn money through wildlife photography? Most never openly ask this question, but most have this question in their mind. Some even give an excuse like wildlife photography is my passion. I never want to monetize it. Come on. With due respect to the passion which we all have, you're spending a lot on your wildlife photography equipment and wild travel. Will you say no to get something back? Definitely I won't. So why can't we find an answer to it? Hello everyone, welcome to Wild Photography and I am Alvis Lazarus. So in this video, I will talk about various options by which you can earn through wildlife photography. So before we start, let's get some facts straight. The highest recognition for your wildlife photography is when someone not just admires your work, but ready to pay a price for it. With that note, let's get on to find how we can start earning as a wildlife photographer. So there are multiple ways you can monetize your work on photography, but what I am going to explain are only the proven ways which worked well for most of the professional wildlife photographers and especially me. So let's get it started. So option number one is selling wildlife photographs through social media. So the investment needed for this option is nil unless you would like to spend on paid ads. I consider this as a good starting point to test yourself on the quality of your work and the willingness of people to pay a price for it. Having said that, you should have at least 50,000 people weekly on your social page. That means around 200,000 reach monthly. It doesn't matter how many people have liked your page, but what matters is how engaged the people are. So I sell my wildlife photographs through my social media pages and mostly through Facebook, which contributes for 80%, and Instagram the rest of it. I have a total of around 200k people connected on my social media pages and website, but I get a reach of around 1 million plus monthly with a healthy engagement of 25 to 30%, which is really good. So I have given links to my social media pages down in the description of this video. I will also make a separate detailed video on how to create and maintain social media wildlife photography pages to get maximum engagement out of it. I'm also going to give you few tips on this. You need to work towards engagement of people on your page. To do that, just post only the quality pictures, that is the best of your work. Be engaged by responding back to people. You can also share your experience which may be of help to the visitors. You can also engage the fans by a poll or a wildlife question, sharing facts about wildlife or a wildlife competition, or few tips on wildlife photography, etc. So these can keep your visitors really engaged. An organic way of increasing your fan base is the best way to have a good engagement on your page, and very importantly, the exit rate will be very less. But if you want to see more people in quick time on your page, please go ahead and promote your page through paid ads, and there is nothing wrong in paid ads, but keep in mind engagement is the key. Option number two, selling wildlife photographs on online photography marketplaces. Here as well, the investment is nil unless you would like to spend on paid ads. So there are hundreds of marketplaces where you can sell your wildlife photographs. I am going to categorize the wildlife photography marketplaces for you. So you can sell wildlife stock images and wildlife prints. So there are two main categories, micro stock photos and macro stock photos. Micro stock sites sell picture with the non-exclusive rights, and macro stock sites sell pictures with exclusive rights to the buyers. This is the basic difference. As a ballpark number, each wildlife micro stock photo will earn you around 40 to 60 paisa per download, and on an average a good image can earn you easily INR 40,000 to INR 60,000 throughout its life cycle. Wildlife prints and macro stock wildlife photos will sell from a starting fee of around INR 15k, and in that the marketplace fee would vary between 20% to 60% depending on the platform. I want to name few sites for you: 500px, Getty Images, Alamy, Shutterstock, SmugMug Pro, iStock Photo. There are so many of them. These are the things which immediately come to my mind. I do sell through affiliates in all these platforms and many more. A few tips on this. The best way to choose the right site for selling is by analyzing their web presence and Google ranking. Also, you should have a unique style for yourself, and only by that you can sell in these platforms. You can see a lot of published images in magazines picked up from these platforms, and that would give you an idea as well. So option number 3, tour leader in wildlife photography tours. Here as well the investment is nil. Another way to enjoy wildlife, teach wildlife photography as well as earn some money is to become a wildlife photography tour leader. But for this, you have to tie up with a wildlife tour agency unless you are running your own. That agency should be ready to partner with you. So before you do this, you should have earned a good name in the photographic community. This would be the only value proposition which would motivate an agency to partner with you. Option number 4, teach and coach wildlife photography. The investment here is around INR 50k. It is a one-time cost, and you may spend INR 10k or little above that depending on the size of your wildlife photography workshop. So you can start teaching wildlife photography to the beginners. This may need an initial investment on preparing materials and equipment for training. While conducting the workshop, you may spend around INR 700 per person for the place and other workshop needs. Few tips on this: master the skills of wildlife photography before you share your knowledge, and thereby people would really love to participate on your workshops. And more importantly, be transparent to share the knowledge and key nuances such that it would help the people to grow in wildlife photography. Option number 5 is run wildlife photography tours. The initial investment is around INR 200k. It is a one-time cost for infra setup and specifically your marketing team. So wildlife tour operators easily make a margin of 30% and above. Sounds like an easy go, but wildlife photography tours are really crowded with very stiff competition. So you need to have a good context and a sound marketing skill or a team to get this going. You can also operate as premium tour or as a budget tours. So even now we can see wildlife tours which are priced alarmingly high, and you can use this as an opportunity to penetrate the market by giving a good value proposition to wildlife travelers. A few tips on this: run a reliable tours at a right price, and all inclusive deals are always good. Stay, food, safari, rentals, etc. I am sure it will be a winner. And keep an engaged naturalist, which is the key for a successful tour. And option number 6 is wildlife photography exhibitions. The investment would start from INR 200k. To me, actually, this is the best way to project your work, but there is a call out here. Make sure your wildlife photography is unique to make the buyers interested in your wildlife photos. You should also need to market your event to get footfalls. The initial effort and investment is high and will give you return only if your wildlife photography is really special. So I suggest that you should do this probably after years of wildlife photography. And few tips on this: you need to master the post-processing skill to take good quality prints. If you're not good at it, it is better you reach out to an expert on this area. Please keep in mind, the post-processing for Instagram and Facebook and for printing are quite different. Even a small mistake which may not be visible on Instagram and Facebook will look glaringly bad when you print an image. So I will share a series of post-processing workflow and step-by-step explanation in the coming days. So please stay connected on the channel. Option 7, selling through your own website. The investment here is around 100k, which includes setting up of your website, setting up of your backend, the payment gateway, etc. The risk involved is extremely high, but if you got this right, it is extremely rewarding as well, and it will also create a great brand value for you. So the initial investment needed to drive traffic is high as well. The content is the key, either through your unique photographs or through wildlife photography articles, and it takes an Himalayan effort to get this done. But if you have the patience and capital, this route would be a great bet in the longer run. So recent past, I am doing a lot of sales through my website. I am seeing there is a shift from my Facebook page. So I will make a separate video on how to build and maintain a wildlife photography website. Option number 8 is print on demand wildlife merchandise. The investment needed is INR 500k. You can start your own POD business at this investment. The hot sellers are mugs and t-shirts. This is based on my secondary research for a project. And then you can scale up even as an aggregator. And if you can't invest that amount of money, you can even piggyback on an existing print on demand business and start selling merchandise and pay them some commissions. You can use your wildlife images to print on those merchandise. You can earn up to INR 50 to 100 in sale of each merchandise, and selling around 1000 to 5000 merchandises in a month is easily achievable if your work is good. Option number 9, the investment is nil. It is the selling of wildlife post-processing presets. You can sell this in multiple platforms, though I will not personally recommend presets if you want to excel as a wildlife photographer. Lightroom presets are a hot selling cake, but you need a unique style of processing which has a good set of followers. The famous marketing way is showing the before and after image and keep the viewers interested to make a sale. There are various platforms, including your own social media handles and website, in which you can sell your presets. And the last option is being a brand ambassador or a wildlife photography editor, or a role as a wildlife photographer in Nat Geo, BBC, or any other related global platforms. This is a real cherry on the cake and every wildlife photographer's dream. Though the investment is nil, the amount of effort, dedication, and perseverance needed to reach this far is very, very high. So, to reach here, you will be doing a mix of all the things explained above. You have to invest at least a decade on wildlife photography and contribute well to the wildlife conservation and related activities. Few tips on this: be active and participate in photography forums. I suggest few forums which are recognized at international level: National Geographic, BBC Wildlife, Sanctuary Asia, and Nature in Focus. So I'm sure you get a good understanding now. So using these options, a wildlife photographer can easily earn between INR 100k to 500k per month. But building your way towards achieving this needs a lot of dedication and focus. I wish you all the very best. Feel free to comment below if you have any further clarifications on this, or if you want to know more on any of these options which I have explained. I would be glad to share more information on it. Happy clicking and have an awesome wildlife photography journey.